when it's time to level up and basically break it off with someone, friend or otherwise, anybody. When I look back on things and I look back on all the phases in my life, I look at all the people that I trusted so deeply. And I look at all the people that I loved so deeply. And I look at all the people that I was so desperate to connect to on a deep level. And all the people that I wanted so desperately to bond with and wanted so desperately to be close to. And especially the people that I wanted so desperately to be able to hang on to forever. You know what I mean? There's a lot to be said for that. Now, the thing is, when you are in a certain phase in your life and you have that person that you go to for everything, that you might have like one best friend that you say everything to or whatever, and you're in touch with that person and you're close to that person for however long. There's so many people that are coming to my mind right now. So many people. You're in touch with that person for so long and you're close to that person for so long and y'all know so much about each other and you've seen each other cry, you've seen each other go through trials and tribs, and you've seen each other go through hardship, and you've seen each other enjoy all that stuff. What I want you to understand is that you don't have to feel bad when the day comes that it's time to let go. You don't have to feel bad about that. A lot of people feel guilty about that. I used to feel guilty about it. Like years ago, I had this lady who was like a mentor for me. She was such a good friend to me, and we loved each other, and we told each other all kinds of stuff. And she was older than me, so she was like a mother figure to me. She was the right age. She was kind. She listened to me. She didn't judge me or anything like that, and we had a couple of hiccups here and there, just like miscommunication type things, but really we loved each other, and we talked for a long time, and she was really wonderful. And sometimes we needed breaks, not because we were mad at each other, but just because of life, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes we'd have like a couple of weeks where we wouldn't talk or whatever, and that was fine, and that's normal. Don't let that bother you if you have to do that. That's normal. Everybody needs a break sometimes. So there would be times when I would be real close to those people, and then like at one point or another, I would kind of think to myself, you know what? Is this helping me anymore? Is this still helping me? Am I stagnant right now? Or am I still growing, or do I need something more? Do I need more? And you'll come up with it on your own. But there's going to come a point, probably someday, when you sit there and say, you know what, I need more than this. I need more than what this is providing. I need a bigger space. I need a bigger space to be able to expand more, right? And you'll have to, one way or another, say goodbye to that person, that friend, that or a romantic partner, or whoever that you're so close to. You'll have to say goodbye. And it just happens. Shit happens, and sometimes it's sad. Sometimes there's an argument. Sometimes it gets dragged out, or it's real dramatic or whatever. And don't let that scare you. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it linger. Don't let it make you think you've made the wrong choice. You haven't. You know what I mean? You are going through different phases in your life where you are going to need different things, period. Babies go through different phases where they need different stuff. First they need a bottle, and then they need the wet food, and then they can eat their steamed vegetables, and then all the other shit, and then they can eat fried chicken, and then fucking whatever, and they move on like that, and they don't go back to the old stuff because they don't need it any longer. So why put the pressure on yourself to hang on to somebody just out of guilt or whatever, because you don't want to be mean and cut them off, right? To hang on to somebody like that when you're moving up. My latest example of that is my best friend, actually, my only woman friend who knows me as well as she does. Me and her watched each other go through a lot of things. Me and her watched each other go through a lot of phases. We watched each other cry a lot of tears. We watched each other, we celebrated with each other a lot over various things, complained, plotted, all the rest of it. You know, like we did all that. And she a few months ago, I was thinking to myself, as much as I love her, I wonder if this isn't good for me anymore. And the thought genuinely crossed my mind, and I didn't feel bad about it, and I didn't feel like, you know, it was the wrong thing to think or anything like that. I didn't feel guilty about it. I just thought, I wonder if this isn't good for me anymore. I love her, but I wonder if the time to let go is coming up. And boy, I was right. Because like I say, I always know about, I say negative. This isn't really negative. It was a good thing. But I always know when something monumental, leaning towards negative, is about to happen. So in that way, I felt that our split was on its way. I could feel it. And I know that I'm in, I can sense those things. I know when they're about to happen. So I thought about her a few months ago, several months ago, sometime last year in the wintertime. I thought, you know, we might be about to part ways. And I didn't say anything about it, so I thought, well, you know, I'll give it some time. I'll give it some time. We'll see how it plays out. Because I've known her for 7 years or so, like 6 or 7 years, 8 years, something like that. I've known her a long time. I don't have any other women friends that I've had for near that long. And it's hard for me to get close to make women friends because a lot of times they want to compete so much, and I don't have any interest in that. I've never been that way where I wanted to compete. That's bullshit. That's no way to live. For what? Compete for what? And so she and I didn't have that problem. Um, she got her, I know her feelings were hurt a lot by a lot of things that went on because I wasn't stuck with the men that I had. I was able, because I didn't marry anybody for a long time, and I was able to get away from someone who hurt me. And she is not in that position. She's kind of stuck. So I know when she saw me like get away from a man and start to live better, that hurt her. And I felt bad about it, but I thought, well, what can I do? So a couple months ago, me and her were talking, and she made a remark to me that I will never forget. And she accused me of being the town drunk. I don't drink like that. I have once or twice, you know, regretted, but I'm not sitting here throwing up every week. My mom and my son live with me. You can ask them. I don't do that. I might sit in front of the TV and sip some whiskey. I might sit in front of the TV and sip some wine, but I'm not a drunkard. Okay. That's not how I operate. And I told her I'd gone to a friend's house and had some wine and that it was good. And that I ate well at this friend's house, this other lady that was so nice to me. And my best friend just like, she was all over that. And just kind of like, she lost her cool. And the way she talked to me, I couldn't believe that she was taking such liberties to speak to me the way that she did. I don't like when people think that because they know me well, or that they've known me a long time, that they can say whatever they want to me. None of my other friends have really done that to me, just her. So, and she's my only female friend, so that makes it even harder. It was hard at first to let go of her, because when she said, "Oh, Miranda, well then, you know what? You go ahead and drink. You just go ahead and drink." And I thought she was out of her goddamn mind, because that's not how I do. And she fucking knows that. And my first response was one of my favorite things to say when I can't fucking believe what someone's saying to me, which is, "Are you nuts?" That's what I always say. Are you nuts? Because that's all I can think is, are you fucking nuts to talk to me this way? Are you kidding me? And I said, this has to be a joke. This has to be a joke. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe what she was saying. And I thought, you know what? I have to think. I have to think. And I didn't talk to her for a couple days, and I blocked her on Facebook. And I just I just needed to think. Because the shit she said, I couldn't believe she was taking the fucking liberty to say to me. And with as much as I love her, because we're close, but I've never, not once, insulted her or tried to call her out for doing something that I wouldn't do. You know, she's the type that I love her and she's got good qualities, but she's the type that will call you out real quick if you're not doing what she's doing. And people like that can be very lonely. That would be a lonely life, I imagine, because she's the type that thinks that she's here to correct people. And Autumn, if you ever see this video, I still love you. I forgive you. But I'm going to be honest with you right now in front of everybody. You are not in a place to be correcting other people with their lives until you get yours together. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I love you and I respect you enough to just say it. Because you need to think about that. You need to sit and have a think about what you're doing. Because I don't talk like that to people I love. For what? For what? So she said some shit I couldn't believe I was hearing. And I blocked her because I thought, I got to block her for a couple of days so I can just think about this. And I did. I took a day and a half. And then that evening I went and I was going to go unblock her, and I did. She had blocked me back, so I knew she was done talking. I was shocked. I really was. Maybe I shouldn't have blocked her. I don't know, but c'est la vie. But she had blocked me back, and I was like, girl, all right, whatever, I'll see you when I see you. And that's been a couple of months, and I have not checked. For a couple of weeks, I would go back and check to see if she'd unblocked me. And she had still blocked me. So after about 2 weeks, I quit checking. 2 weeks is usually my point where I kind of quit worrying about something, for the most part. And so long as I'm not too hurt by it. And her, for some reason, I was not that hurt. I felt relief, and I felt kind of free, because even though I love her, a great deal of our relationship and our dynamic and our communication was around complaining about things that we hated about our lives. And we listened to each other complain a lot, and we bounced back and forth a lot of negative feelings and a lot of negative thoughts and things. And neither of us were a good support system for each other. Both of us needed growth in other ways. And when I realized that she and I were not going to be communicating anymore, I felt a wave of relief wash over me. And I thought, you know what, maybe this is what I need. Maybe I just need this. And sometimes you have to accept, just to cut yourself a break, you have to accept that some people, that their clock runs out with you. Their time will run out with you. Their path will come to an end with you, and y'all will go separate damn ways. And that's it. And it can happen between you and anybody. You could have a relative that you're real close to that you talk to all the time, and then there may come a day when you decide you don't need to talk to that person so much anymore. Y'all are still related. You're still family. You still say hi and shit like that, obviously. But the everyday connecting, sometimes that will fade away. So I have not spoken to who was my best friend, my only, best friend, like on those levels, on those deep levels. I have not spoken to her in a couple of months now. And I actually feel okay. I don't feel any regret. I reached out to her afterwards in different places. I tried to send her an email. I texted her. I sent her a couple of emails to different email addresses, because I wanted to make sure that she knew that I wasn't mad at her, and that I forgave her for talking to me the way she did. And I said, look, I love you. I'm not mad at you. I forgive you for that. Don't worry about it. Just, keep being yourself. Do your life. I hope that everything works out for you. I hope that you have the success you want, and I hope that you end up okay. I really do. And I love you, and I forgive you, and that's all I wanted to say. And I pretty much said that, and I sent it to her through different ways. So hopefully she saw it from somewhere. If not, fine. And like I say, she knows me better than anybody else. And I mean, really knows me better than anybody else. I told her stuff I wouldn't tell my mother, and that I couldn't tell mom. So it was weird letting her go. It was weird to let her go, and it was weird to release that, and but not in a bad way weird, just didn't think it would happen up until I started getting like premonitions that it would a few months ago. Then I started to kind of wonder. I thought, well, I'll let it play out, naturally and see what happens. But let me tell you, um, so my point is, you will have levels in your life that you have to reach, that you have to get to, that won't include the people that have come with you so far. Everybody can't come up to your next level with you. Everybody can't. Everybody's not going to be able to compete with that. Whatever my next level of growth is, and whatever my next superpower is, or whatever the fuck, it's not going to have anything to do with her, and it's not going to be anything that she can help me with, which is why she faded from my life. Faded abruptly, but faded nonetheless. And she faded from my life, and that space is open for something else now. And I'm okay with that. So my point is, don't be afraid of letting people go, or closing chapters of your life, because the next thing that's on the way is going to replace that. It's going to replace it, and it's going to be even better. So I don't want you to be scared when things come to an end like that. Over the years throughout my life, I have had many instances where I wanted to hang on to people. I've had instances where I would look people up online and see how they were doing after I hadn't seen them for 10 years. Especially people that were good friends to me and stuff. I always wanted to look them up and say, I wonder how so-and-so's doing. Just curious. Just want to see how they're doing. People I knew in the Army, just like, I was always like looking for people to see how they were doing. And I got to a point, especially for my New Year's resolution, for those of you who saw that video, my New Year's resolution for 2024, one of them is to not bring anybody from the previous years into 2024. I'm not bringing anybody into this that doesn't need to be there. No one from my past that hurt me. No one from my past that did me wrong. No one from my past I needed to get away from. No one from my past I need to forget about, or that doesn't deserve to be in my mind all the time. All those people, I got a long list of people who have no business coming into my 2024, and they haven't. There have been names I haven't spoken. There have been names that I've made a point of not speaking because I don't want them in 2024 with me. Like, I took it that seriously. So, and I've done well with that, and it feels good. It feels good to not have those people, dragging behind you into the new year. It feels good. So what I want you to take from this today is to respect yourself, respect your level that you're moving into, respect your own growth, respect your needs, and respect your opportunities. Because when something goes away in your life, all that does is leave a void for something else to be plugged in that is going to outdo it. That's the whole point, is to have something better than what you had before. People say that it's hard to find a good life partner, but they'll also tell you that you have to just go through so many before you finally find that one that makes some damn sense. It's just, you go through the levels until you get up to the next one. And that includes people. That includes people you love. And you can still love them from far away. I still love those people from far away. That older lady I was talking about, who was like a mother type figure to me, that I was friends with for so long, she was really hurt by me not talking to her every day anymore. She didn't like that. She said, "You've been ignoring me. Don't tell me otherwise. Don't lie to me. You've been avoiding me." And that was true. That was true. I'm not going to sit here and say I wasn't. My intention there was not so much to just avoid her, for fear or anything like that, but it was just, I didn't know what to say anymore. for that lady, I didn't know what to say to her anymore. And I wasn't in the same mindset anymore. And I didn't know how to tell her that I had outgrown our friendship. I just didn't know how to tell her. So I went a long time, not saying anything because I just didn't know how to say it. And then finally I said, look, I've loved you. I've appreciated you. But I think this is a time for me to just kind of move on to other phases in my life. And she didn't like that. She did not like that. But you can't live your life being connected to somebody just for the sake of being connected to them because it would hurt their feelings if you weren't. You can't live that way. This is your life. It's okay for you to be selfish, at least with this, and just say, you know what? Yeah, I got to do something else. I got to do something else that's right for me, period. You have to. What else is there? All this people pleasing shit, all this millennial people pleasing shit is, for the birds. We got to quit that. Drop it. I mean, for what? You're not getting paid to keep people around you don't like or don't connect to anymore. Shit, drop them. Be nice about it and say, look, I've loved our friendship and you helped me a great deal and I've appreciated so much about what you've contributed here. And I just think it's time that I move on because I'm needing something different that I need to find elsewhere. And make your peace, say your piece, and leave it at that. And if that person gets upset or they don't like it or whatever, you know what? You cannot be held responsible for their feelings. You can't be held responsible for their reaction. That's their choice. You can't be held responsible for how they handle it afterwards or what they say to you or how they process it or anything. You can only be responsible for what you choose to do. If you choose to cut ties and say, I've loved you, I've enjoyed this. This has been good for me. I hope it's been good for you too. I'm glad that we met. I've learned a lot from you. Thank you for the gifts and thank you for your presence. But it's time for me to move on. And I wish you the best. And anything you might have ever done to me, I forgive you for it. I'm not worried about it. I hope things go well for you. And I love you. And I'll always remember you and what you did for me. And I hope that everything goes well for you and that you get all the things you want in life. And just be very matter of fact about it. Be very plain about it. Just say what you want to say, and you leave it at that. I mean, because you have to do you. You have to do what's right for you. Period. That's it. So, and I have done that. And it's just part of life. So the reason this ties into dark feminine mentality, the way I teach it, is you have to do what's good for you at every level of your life, at every phase you enter into, every chapter that opens and closes. You have to do what's right for you. Your life should center around you and what you need and what you want. Your life should center around that. I know I've used this guy as an example before, but it's because I can't believe what the hell he said. And it's the ugly fella that's married to all those women out there in Utah or whatever the fuck. The guy with the stupid stringy blonde hair, the multiple wives guy. I forgot the name of the show and I certainly don't know his name, but there was one episode I was watching a long time ago. And I was just watching in disbelief. I couldn't believe this man. Well, I don't know. I kind of can, but because it's not like I've never seen his kind before, but he's not different from the other 90% of them that think they're on top of the world, but must be crowded up there. But he sat there on that show and said, well, I'm the center of the wheel, and the wives are all the spokes coming out like this. And the spokes can't do their job unless they all connect to the center of the wheel. So obviously, I'm the center of the wheel. So they can all do their job because they're all connected to me. And at first I was like, this man serious? I don't know why the fuck I was shocked. Goddamn, the rest of them think that way too. Hell, but it just, he got on national television and said that and thinks he's right, thinks that that's normal. whatever. Average maybe, but not normal, right? So I but I remembered it because it was so profound. I remembered it. And what I want you to do is to make yourself the center of the wheel and have everybody the fuck else the spokes. Not in a selfish way the way he did it. This isn't like pawns on a chessboard. It's not that. But it's making sure that you look after you first so that you can start looking after everybody else and do all the other things you need to do in life. Come through for your business, come through for your job, come through for your bills, come through for your children, come through for your friends, or whoever needs you, your volunteer work, whoever, all those demands around you, right? You need to be able to come through for them. But shit, you need to be at your best as much as possible so that you can do that shit. In other words, as people say, you cannot pour from an empty motherfucking cup. So you should be in the middle of your life. If that guy, whatever, fuck him. But I want you to see yourself that way. And that very much motherfucking includes cutting out shit that is not working for you and not feeling bad about it. Don't feel bad about that. The people that I had to quit talking to throughout my life that I loved and just thought, you know what, I can't do this with you anymore. I love you, but I got to move on. I didn't feel bad about it. I probably did a long, long time ago, like as a teenager, I probably felt bad about it a couple times. But as I got older, I was like, nah, I got to do this. I can't, this is hurting me mentally to keep you in my life. And you have to make the decision. It's you or them. Back when I used to help women recover from narcissistic ex-boyfriends, I would, the ones that were still stuck with them would message me and get in touch with me and say, okay, what do I do? How do I get out? And I would say, look, you have to decide that you're finished. You have to decide that you're finished. And then you start doing things, and then you start planning, and then you start hiding money, and then you start, putting away a getaway bag, and then whatever, all that other stuff that you have to do. I've done it. But you have to come to a point where you decide, okay, damn it, this isn't gonna work anymore. You gotta go, or I gotta go. One of us has to go from this situation. One of us has to walk away, and that's when you get to, maybe not rock bottom, but when you get to a point where you just say, I can't do any more of this shit. I have to move on to something bigger and better that can hold me better. A bigger space into which I can expand and unfold and unfurl and meet myself in different ways and learn different parts of me that I have not yet met. And you have to do that. You're a soul that goes on forever in the universe. You have to meet more parts of yourself. That's the whole point. You're learning. It's going to go on for fucking ever. May as well make a little bit of progress today. You know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents on that. But that's the kind of stuff I teach. So, and if you're feeling that, if that's the kind of thing you like, I would like to invite you to my membership. Like I say, we meet once a week. It's a live private video here on YouTube, and I send people the link for it ahead of time. I schedule it. I usually try to do Mondays at 10, but sometimes it doesn't work. So if it changes, I usually let people know. But the membership is a place just like what I described, where you can just unfold and you can meet yourself and you can learn the things you need to learn to get through life more easily instead of things being hard for you. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. You can get through it with grace. You can get through it with calmness in the calamity. You can get through life, the obstacles, the hang-ups, the hiccups, the obstructions, the challenges, the people that are giving you shit. There's ways to get around all that, and there's ways to get through those situations the graceful way, so that you can come out the other side still having what you want. it may have turned out a little bit differently than what you imagined, but you'll still get what you want. And it's just a way to come at life with a savvy, wily, cunning, street smart, intelligent mindset that gets you through situations that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to had you let your weaknesses rush up to the surface and make decisions for you. You see what I mean? So I'll put the link in the membership down below. I'll pin it in a comment. And, if that's something you're interested in, you can check it out. You can sign up anytime. You can leave anytime. You can come back anytime. There's no, restrictions like that. If you do join, you are able to give me topics that you want to talk about, and I can do a whole video for it the following week. And that's just, one of the perks in there. And you have more one-on-one with me. And also in the membership, however long that you've paid into it, you can use that as a credit towards the 12-week program if you choose to go all the way and do the deep dive, and we can go one-on-one. So your membership credit would count towards that. And that's pretty much it. So if that's something you're feeling, welcome aboard. I'll be glad to have you. Always got more room. And that's pretty much it for now. So thanks for listening, and I hope this helped you. And hopefully I'll see you in the membership. Bye-bye.